Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. This is also a pretty blur. Like I didn't hate it, but I didn't say I liked it either.
Maybe this is a hot take, maybe not. So we just had an explosive S tier godlike movie. This is kind of like the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was just there.
If The Lion King is the peak of the Renaissance period, then Pocahontas would be like the valley just below it. I think it's like down here. Not a bad film. I just think it's mid. Its characters, they don't have any compelling dynamics, relationships, really. Have you seen Romeo and Juliet, or Dances with Wolves, or, you know, anything like that? Yeah, that's what Pocahontas is. It's got some nice visuals, it's got some nice music numbers. I can only remember one, but I'm sure the rest are nice too. Colors of the Wind is really cool. It's a really cool sequence. But
besides that, it was just an inaccurate telling of Pocahontas.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about Pocahontas. It doesn't leave much of an impact.
Yeah, it was just a film.
Its villain wants money, and he's a dick, and he wants gold, and he wants to get gold. Yeah, John Smith is there to fight Indians because he knows their ways or something. And I know I sound like a complete asshole right now. Maybe I'm being too mean to the film, but
it's just it was just there. It was just.
It's just fine.
It was okay.
The characters I like the most are the raccoon and the bird.
Exactly.
And the dog.
The animal characters were cool.
And if those are the most interesting characters, there's a problem. Because they're just there for cutesy comic relief. It's got the whole dynamic between two peoples. And both are being unreasonable. And it starts a war. Even though one is clearly painted more badly than the other.
It's no better than... Dumbo's better. Like, Dumbo has more Disney magic.
I'm not sure if I even say Dumbo's better. I don't know. At most, I will put Pocahontas, like, up here.
Really?
Maybe... I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, anything in terms of, like, you meet your friends, something happens to your mom, and the next thing you know, you meet your friends again, and then you're just mating, and then that's it. Like, I feel that'd be a better... story.
You talking about Bambi? I was completely lost in what you were saying just then.
Yeah, I was talking about Bambi.
We've been going for a while. I guess it can go above Dumbo. It's a little bit better than Dumbo, I suppose. A little. Just for the visuals, I suppose. The music numbers.
Yeah. Alright, that's fair. Sanctuary.
How do we feel about Hunchback?
I'd have to rewatch this film. Honestly, if I feel like I rewatch it, I feel like I say it aged well, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. I thought the Hunchback was cool. My favorite character was probably the Gypsy.
This might be a little bit of a bias showing, but I'm gonna put it up here.
Yeah, whenever I heard people talk about it, it was like really good things.
Yeah, one of the best villains. That maybe not many people talk about, except for the controversial stuff. What makes him a very compelling villain, Mr. Frollo, George Claude Frollo, is that he is just a man. There's nothing supernatural about him, or overly comical about him.
So he's the Joker.
I don't know what you mean by that. You said that before.
As I mean by the Joker, they're just the person that no power, no nothing. They just do shit just because they want to. They can.
Well, I meant like he's human, as in the reason why he's evil is completely just down to human vices.
Against gypsies.
No, against, well, yes. There's a class thing, but there's also the sexual thing as well. And his constant internal struggle against his religious, zealotry faith, and being a purist, and also wanting to bang a gypsy, despite hating gypsies. And the fact that he struggles with it and it tears him up inside and makes him nuts. Besides him, there's a lot of good in this film. The music numbers, they're not Lion King good, but they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
A lot of energy, a lot of emotion. But, you know, like I said, I'm not a music theory man. It might not, maybe it shouldn't rank this high, but it is my favorite one. I actually like it more than Lion King. For the Renaissance movies.
Like your personal take.
It's my personal favorite. Alright, let's try and move along a little bit quicker if we can.
Alright.
Because I'm starting to feel the burn, but I want to get this done.
Alright, maximum overdrive. Go.
Hercules.
I would say the theme was good. You know,
It's Rocky meets Superman. Zero to hero. Gifted with godlike power. Has to learn how to use it responsibly. And realizes that it's not his power, it's his heart that wins the day.
His willpower, his determination. Yeah, I say a B+.
I think it's B+. It is a really fun film. If you want to talk about just a fun factor, this is a good film. It's just a good time film.
For me, if I'd have to remake it again, but if I make a top 5, Hercules is there.
I imagine if anyone's watching this and they haven't clicked off by now, they probably want me to put it like up here. For the fun factor alone. I try not to do that. This is supposed to be just purely non-biased how good is the film. But like I said, this is kind of difficult because of all
Overall,
generally pretty good.
It hit its themes. All of the musical numbers were fantastic. Like it was overall a good film.
I'm gonna say
It's a high tier B at the most. Like if you want to put it in A, if you want to put it at A, it's at the bottom. But if at the B, it's either second place or the leader. Yeah.
I might change it to this later, or even this. But for now, I think it's here.
Man.
Mulan. I think I've got some wind outside trying to tear my office down. I hope that doesn't come through.
It was a good one. Definitely has memorable music.
Yeah, Mulan.
It was definitely a girl power movie, but I feel it was a girl power movie done right.
Yeah, it's a. You know what I describe a girl power movie done right? When it's a girl power movie that doesn't feel like one.
Yeah.
It's like, just a well written character.
Yeah, like at the time before like Mulan became having a Mulan type character became meta. It was like, you know, this girl that joined the army for her family because her father was old as shit or too injured, probably both.
And the fact that she doesn't outperform everyone else because of her strength, which is what men are praised for. The fact that she has to get around her weaknesses with other strengths, like her wits. And she does this throughout the whole film. Even at the very beginning, it's foreshadowed that she's witty, when she just casually like beats a chess game for someone, like as she walks past.
Yep.
Subtle little foreshadowing like that. And she's not obnoxious as hell. Imagine that. Holy crap. She's actually very humble, and she doesn't think she's good at anything, which is also very relatable. But she is. She just needs a chance to shine, and it comes thrown in her face very violently and very suddenly. That self-sacrifice she makes, not just for her life getting killed in the war, but possibly being executed because of the harsh nature of her world. If it's discovered that what she's done.
But overall, it worked out okay.
Yeah. I like her and Mushu's dynamic. He's mostly for comic relief, but after that mountain scene, their relationship gets very strong.
I think she was 3 feet in front of you. Alright, so that was the funny moment. But yeah, their dynamic was great.
Is Mulan A tier?
Ooh, I kind of want to say yeah, because it was a girl power movie done right. A strong female lead.
Just a strong character movie. Don't even include the female part.
Don't even the female lead. Just a strong character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mulan up here, maybe up here. I think these two are equal.
Yeah.
Very strong character dynamics in that film. Unfortunately, the villain kind of pulls it back a little bit.
The villain makes it like it feels more generic.
He's more like a force, an obstacle, rather than his own character.
Yeah.
Whereas characters like Hades,
his own Genghis
and
Khan,
Frollo, and Jafar are all memorable for different reasons. Shan Yu is just
He's just
threatening.
Genghis Khan. Disney version of Genghis Khan, yeah. So before talking about it, if this was like a tier list for music, this definitely be fucking S for sure.
Yeah, I like the music in Tarzan.
Tarzan
Ooh.
visually, let's see here. A little boy, he ends up in the woods, about to get eaten by a fucking jaguar or leopard, gets saved by a gorilla, ends up learning the living, growing up as a gorilla. So he's walking on his knuckles. Then eventually some humans show up. And then he realizes he's not the only, there's more people like him.
Kind of like
That's-
Mulan, he figures out ways to get around his
Yeah.
weaknesses by using very human tactics and using his wits.
I didn't really like the villain.
Clayton.
Clayton, yeah. Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton's not great. He wants money.
He was a very bland villain.
He's like one cut above the villain from Pocahontas, and that he's just more entertaining to watch because he has some funny moments, and that's about it. I think Tarzan is decent. I think it's
bottom, yeah, I'd say that. Either in the middle of B plus or the bottom of A.
No, I think Beauty and the Beast is better than Tarzan.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have to watch them both back to back to be definitive. Don't take this with a grain of salt, everyone.
Okay.
It's somewhere here.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast and Tarzan. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, Dinosaur. Disney's first foray into 3D is a film about dinosaurs.
I don't remember this film like that. Well, I lied. I do remember it, but would I rewatch it again? Probably not. This as a kid, you know, dinosaurs, they're cool. But looking at it now, I feel like I did rewatch this movie not too long ago. Did it age well? It looks okay.
I watched it a while ago, like within 2022, just to see how it held up. This film is okay.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no impact. I feel no impact for this film because why? Because Jurassic Park was already out.
They had something. There's another idea here. There was something going on. People got really excited for the film because they saw the trailer shot where it's just that intro sequence, which is really, really good. And the music's really nice, and it looks really cool. And people thought this was just going to be a dinosaur documentary film where they don't talk. And that was really interesting for Disney to do, apparently back in the day. I've heard that before, more than once. And then people went to go watch it in the cinema, and never mind, they do talk.
Yeah, like they talk, like it was a whole bunch of family, like it was like a basic like kind of gimmick. Dinosaurs trying to escape extinction.
It's far less compelling. Land Before Time.
Yeah. Once it turned into like a family thing, I'm like, oh man.
Dinosaurs trying to survive, but finding a new land.
Yeah,
their land is crap.
Definitely, it was. Okay. I'll say Dumbo. I'll put that behind Dumbo. To be honest.
I do like the tight-knit family bonds between the misfit dinosaurs. About halfway through, and they join the herd. Yeah, I think it's maybe
C plus.
I think it's right next to Bambi.
All right, so this one,
Cusco.
Okay. Emperor's New Groove. This has to be. If I'm probably being, yeah, I'm saying it has to be biased there, but for real, it has to be bottom of either a B plus or an A.
Is this the funniest Disney film? I think this is the funniest Disney film. It has to get at least 1 point for that.
Yeah.
Because
it's like the theme, it all went together. You see Emperor Cusco being an asshole. He wants to tear down his village to make an expansion to his castle.
Yeah, talk about redemption story. He really does go from shithead to
he went from
genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, movie wise anyway.
You definitely feel it. It was earned.
So I would put that at the bottom of A. Or would you say it's a B plus?
I think it equals to Hercules and Hunchback. I just don't know where exactly it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I know we haven't really said much about it, and it's mostly because we're both getting really tired at this point. And we got more things to say. I'm going to put him right in the middle here. Best Disney Princess, Cusco. Alright, Atlantis.
Yeah, felt like a World War II film I was watching.
So, I'll take it away with this one. I've said this before to friends. The first half is like a 9, maybe 10 out of 10 film, stitched to a decent 7 out of 10 film for the second half. The journey and the characters bonding throughout that journey, and the design of the world and the idea itself, it seems like a James Cameron film, but it's being animated by Disney. It's like a lightning in a bottle film. I'm glad it even happened. I'm not sure how it happened, but it did. Yeah, that first half is very compelling, and it really does a good job of setting up the mystery and the gravitas of Atlantis before they finally find it. Because they have no idea what they'll find, and we have no idea what they'll find. This place is ancient, and they have super technology. We saw crazy stuff at the very beginning of the film before it starts, with the prologue. So yeah, it really builds up that excitement when we finally get to it. This is my hot take. Maybe it's not a hot take. This film should have been 2 films. It has a bit of a pacing issue where once they get to Atlantis, the film sort of grinds to a halt, and they have to get through Atlantis really quickly. There's not a whole lot of room for it to breathe because they're running short on time. When they actually get to Atlantis, the surprise factor is over, the excitement is over, and now we're just exploring this place. I think being in Atlantis should have been its whole film, and then you get the conflict with the mercenaries a bit broadened out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole journey to Atlantis will be the first film. But anyway, that's just my, that's my take on that. Either this film needs to be longer or split into 2. And we would have had something very special, I think. But as it stands, it's pretty damn solid. Dialogue's very witty. Everyone's personality, all the side characters have a very bright and strong personality that shines through, despite having very little screen time. They do well with what the time they have. It's just a shame they didn't have more time. Okay, do you want to say anything about it? Sorry.
No, you're good. Nah, I've only watched this movie once and I enjoyed it from beginning to end. You obviously have a bigger take. I'd have to rewatch it to see what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think it belongs right here. Maybe even up here? These films are very close to each other. Yeah. You stay there for now, Atlantis, but you might be at the top. Consider yourselves equal. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Lilo and Stitch. A little alien comes to Hawaii and befriends a little Hawaiian girl.
So, this has been said loads of times, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you're a kid, you love this movie for the alien stuff, and the cool chase sequences, and the fighting, and Stitch. When you're an adult, you realize this film is good not because of all that stuff, but because of the human stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The relationship between Nani and Lilo is very, very real.
I wouldn't even say, but honestly, I'd say that's an
A+. It could be. I mean, any of these films could qualify as A+, if I really thought about it. It can go there. It's very strong. I'd say, when it's about the aliens, this movie is like a B. When it's about the human dynamic, and all the strings are attached to that, like the alluding to the fact that Hawaii lost its independence when America colonized it, is alluded to with Nani and Lilo, and how the government's trying to take her away, even though their relationship isn't very good. It's not very strong. Not by their fault, but because they're both pretty young. Nani is not an adult yet, really. she has her own life and she's sacrificing her time and resources to
Take care of
maintain Lilo.
Damn,
Because
I would
they
actually
what
say
they
that's
what
bad,
they need,
though.
they feel like they need each other, but they're actually not great for each other until the end of the film, where they strengthen their family by adding more members to it and healing it, and Stitch helps that way. Yeah, you know what? That's an A+ film. Fuck it, it stays up there. It's really good. Lilo and Stitch is good shit. Treasure Planet.
That's I have to rewatch that. I feel I still enjoyed the movie. I feel how actually the most I'll say is I feel that's the opposite of the Black Cauldron, like how you see all the characters, but the background pops out more.
Yeah, there are like maybe 1 or 2 instances where the animation types don't blend so well, where the CG isn't quite there. But what they do with the technology they were given, because it was quite limited at the time, it was very new. This film does a lot of cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
Blending the two, CG and 2D. This might be shocking, but I might put it here. Possibly here. Possibly here. I think it's definitely an A+ though. You know when I said Aladdin and the genie have a really strong relationship dynamic?
Yeah.
Their ups and downs and how much sense it makes and how compelling it is when they finally get to the end.
Yeah.
And how they're better friends because of it, even though they have to, even though the genie wants to go off and do his own thing. I know he comes back because of all the sequels, but if you just take this film by itself, Aladdin, you don't know if the genie's ever coming back, so that goodbye is very strong.
That is true.
But talking about a duo relationship, Jim and Silver, holy crap, tearjerker every time. It's getting its video. I won't say when, but it's coming. Do you wanna?
All right.
Do you remember anything about it really?
No, the only thing I remember was like a McDonald's toy I got when the movie came out.
Was it the collect the Ben's body McDonald's toy?
Yeah.
I had a few of those as well. Which is weird. This film bombed. It did not do well. It did very badly.
Damn.
Yeah. Not its fault at all. If you want to find out why, there are loads of videos talking about the production behind that film.
Okay.
I'm more interested in breaking down films for their story and their merits. Not so much for the production around them, although maybe I'll do that one day, who knows.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we can move on. Treasure Planet is good crap. Good shit.
Brother Bear.
It goes here, actually. Brother Bear.
The theme is pretty strong. He killed, I forgot the main character's name, but I remember the little bear, Coda.
Keita?
Peter?
Is it Keita? I think the little bear is called Coda, you're right there. I forget the main
character.
character's
It's
name.
Coda, yeah. Yeah, so it's just like the main character kills the mother bear.
Yeah.
And dude, actually no, hold on. Starting from the beginning. At first, his brothers are given the cooler talismans, because one got an eagle, the other one got a deer, and then the main character, he got the bear love, and then they laughed at him. He's like, "No, I want something cool. I want something stronger." And it's like, "What do you mean the bear is strong?" And so then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go kill a bear, or I'm gonna go hunt something to prove I can deserve a stronger talisman or title or whatever." A bear shows up. I mean, he wasn't even trying to kill. He was trying to run away. that I feel like that was probably the scariest of a chase scene, even though it was all animated. Yeah, that made my hair spike up when I was younger watching that scene.
Yeah, I think this film's fine.
To go from to being a piece of shit, to killing the mother, to becoming the brother bear, to pretty much taking care of him. Yeah, the brother dynamic.
I don't quite believe in his decision at the end to stay as a bear.
Oh, that was a little wonky.
Because they've been together for a few days. I know they do a lot together. And I do think the decision to stay with Coda was right. I just don't think he would have done it as a bear. I don't quite believe in that decision, because I
think that's the most awkward with the Disney magic. Thinking about it now, Oh,
You
I'm
can
gonna just say
still,
it.
you can still be. I think it would have been a little bit stronger if he had stayed a human, because the
And then he has
curse,
to
the
raise
the, the
Dakota.
spirit curse, whatever you want to call it, just ran out because he fulfilled
Mhm.
his redemption. And it seems like a sad scene, but then he decides, you know what, I'm still your brother, even if we can't talk to each other anymore. And they stay together anyway. I feel
Yeah.
like it would have been a little bit stronger if they had done that. Other than that, that's about all I have to say about this film. I think it's just okay.
Yeah. Would you keep it at C?
Yeah, it's better than Pocahontas.
I say it's better than Bambi, though.
It's better than
For
Bambi.
sure.
Probably better than Black Cauldron, if
Better
we're
than
being
the Black
honest.
Cauldron, yes. Yeah, it was
They can stay there, I
straight to the
guess.
point. Yeah, it's there. Home on the Range. That's definitely a move I've forgotten. I forgot. I didn't. I forgot that was even Disney. I
Do you
remember we
remember
talked
what
about it.
happened in it?
I'll tell you what. No.
I rewatched it a few days ago, even though I had watched it before, because I forgot it. This
Like I
film is
forgot it
very
was.
forgettable.
Yeah, I forgot it was a Disney film. I forgot they made it.
It's our first D+. It's
Yeah,
not down here. I don't think it's down here, but it is here.
it's just a film.
The first half, maybe the first act, the first third, whatever you call it, is insufferably annoying. Do you like milk puns? Because that's what you're getting.
All it is. Like,
And it's overly sugary and cutesy, the way they do it. It's like, they introduce us to this farm, and oh, it's such a happy-go-lucky farm. Oh, everyone loves being a farm animal. Look at all of us getting together, being happy. Ain't life grand? It's a little too overdone, a little overcooked. It overstays its welcome. And then like the fat cow, one of the three main characters, comes in. That stirs a conflict between her and the main cow. And their dynamic is that they don't see eye to eye. They have different ways of thinking. It's just really fucking annoying to start.
it was.
Um,
I don't think I'd rewatch this movie. I'll be honest. I mean, I probably still, just for the hell of it.
yeah, it's very clunky, predictable, irritating. The supporting characters don't really help that much either. But it kind of redeems itself a little bit towards the second half, where the milk puns suddenly stop. Compared to other Disney films, it's very, very low. On its own, I don't think I'd call it a bad film. It's not bad. It's like a 5 out of 10 leaning towards 4 for that first half. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was,
That's what I have to say about that film.
Home on the Range. It was something. That's really all I can say. But Chicken Little,
This film,
Little.
do you remember this film?
A little bit. It was cheery. I thought it was funny. I laughed.
I would not call it cheery. I would call it very sour.
Probably rewatching it, I probably feel sour. But I mean, honestly, when I first watched Chicken Little, I thought it was thinking about it, I thought it was a DreamWorks film. I forgot it was Disney.
Yeah,
And then thinking
it's
about Kingdom
Disney's
Hearts.
technically their second attempt to be a CG movie. The dynamic
Like-
between Chicken Little and his dad is completely balked, and that's where most of the conflict stems from. It's not the alien invasion, it's their relationship.
Relationship, yeah.
The reason I say it's balked is because his dad is awful. He is a terrible, terrible father, and a terrible character because of it. When they make up in the end and they work things out and they see eye to eye finally, it does not come through because of that. Chicken Little is bullied to hell. This town, all of its characters are ugly in how awful they are.
Duh.
Not visually ugly, although some of them are visually ugly as well. They're like over-the-top mean caricatures, I guess you'd have to say. Everyone is a massive dick to this chicken for no goddamn reason. He's an overly excited kid who made a mistake, and they bully the absolute crap out of him. And it is disgusting. It's hard to sit through.
Overall, I mean, the first time I watched it, I watched it twice. I didn't hate either. I guess I was just a kid, so I was enjoying all of, like the little wonky shit that was going on. I didn't pay attention to the story.
I don't know what they were thinking with this. I'm not sure who worked on it.
This was the Shadow of the Hedgehog of Disney.
I
Actually,
guess.
no.
I think they were trying to be funny and like modern, I guess, and they ended up writing like awful characters.
Oh god.
Apart from the main trio.
Yeah, that's really all I gotta say for Chicken Little. It was something. You keep it at D.
I
Plus.
I don't think it's that bad, but it is this bad. I think Home in the Range is better than Chicken Little.
I agree. Next.
All right.
This is also a film I forgot that was Disney. I thought it
Yeah,
was also
Meet the Robinsons. Better than Chicken Little.
That's a fact.
It has. There is a great film in this film that unfortunately does not shine through because the plot doesn't make sense. The time travel makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, it was all over the place with the time travel. It wasn't adding up, and then the ending.
Well, they don't follow their own rules, like blatantly. The way he solves the problem at the very end by defeating the villain, which is a little hat thing, doesn't make any goddamn sense. Maybe I'll talk about this film in detail one day. As far as the characters stuff goes, it's pretty solid.
No one was bad. The dynamics were average. I mean, mainly between like the main character and the son, or I guess in this case, his future son.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of weird to think about the dynamic now.
Where does it go?
Because it's all. I mean, it was all over the place.
Has a very nice message to it. It's just a shame that
it was all over the place.
The plot lets it down.
So I think you're right. C+ is fine.
I'm just thinking about where to put it on C+.
Better than. Yeah.
Probably here, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm less sure about some of these than I am about others.
It's like S and A are kind of like for sure, and then B+ below are like the rearrange. Bolt.
So we went from pretty bad film for its character to middling film because of its plot. Bolt is like like the next step above. It's somewhere around B.
Yes. The dynamic between Bolt and the cat was pretty cool. It wasn't just a simple. I got something happened to me. I gotta get home. No like super extra adventure about it. He went from being a Hollywood up in the hills, having everything he wants, to actually being like a full dog barking at the moon and stuff.
Yeah. Bolt's character is Buzz Lightyear, copied and pasted, but there's nothing wrong with that. It is a strong story to tell, and it does it pretty well. Feeling like you're useless once you find out the truth, that you're not actually as cool as you thought you were. Having a bit of a character crisis. And learning that actually just being a normal dog is pretty great. And it is.
Better than Cinderella for sure.
Yep, it is a perfectly fine film. I ain't gonna put it somewhere in B. Don't know where.
Better than Cinderella for sure. Between Jungle Book and 101.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I can say that. The Princess and the Frog.
This was their last 2D?
Yep. And dare I say it was a half-baked attempt at a 2D film? It's not bad.
I enjoyed all the musicals. A lot of colors popped out. I think it was a solid film.
This is just my theory. I have a feeling there were some higher-ups at Disney that did not want this film to do too well. Otherwise, they would have to make more. Because I'm pretty sure it was implied to be a test to see if 2D films could still work. And I have a feeling that some people did not give it their all, so it wouldn't make too much, so they'd stick to the 3D films. They'd have like a good excuse. But that is just a theory based on very little. But I have a feeling I might be right. Anyway, as for the film itself, it's fine. That's okay. This film has a very good beginning. That's quite strong.
Yeah.
I like Tiana's struggle, and her problems are grounded in reality. Quite tastefully, I think. considering her situation and the situation of the nature of what it's talking about and the era this takes place in. I think it's handled pretty well.
Shit was rough.
The villain's fun as well, I suppose. There's that. I think this film gets weaker when she turns into a frog. And then just kind of like plods along. They just get into hijinks after hijinks and...
I guess if it was just more of like the prince that just turned into a frog, and then he had to just learn from him not being in his bullshit, but...
I'll be honest, I don't know how I would change this film to make it better. Unfortunately, she's a frog for most of it. So, the way she defeats the villain at the end is pretty dumb. The plot kind of makes it so she gets a one-up on him. With an animation and continuity error. Because he's got a pin down with a cane as a frog, and she's absolutely screwed because she is a frog, and he's got a pin down on the ground with a cane. And then I think it cuts away, and as it cuts away, the cane is gone, and she's able to flip around and like grab his phylactery thing with her tongue, and then breaks it, and that's what defeats him. That only happens because that cane moves, like between cuts. Like, look it up if you don't believe me. It's just, that's like the one thing I remember from this film. It's like, that's really dumb. Okay, that's it. I don't know where. It's better than. Sorry, I need to put it somewhere.
Solid. Yeah, solid film.
I'm lukewarm towards it. I think it's not. Whatever. You go here, I guess. C+.
Tangled.
Tangled.
I've only watched, I'll be honest, I only watched like the first half of this.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't really hooking me. The whole Rapunzel.
Oh, you tried to watch it recently and you couldn't do it?
Yeah, the whole Rapunzel.
It's really cutesy and goofy, almost to the point of being annoying. Just for me personally. It's not an awful film.
I think it was too cliche.
But it's not annoying. But it almost is.
Like, I feel like the theme was like trying to get there, but just everyone was just cliche, like to the T. Not to the T, but like, yeah, you're damsel in distress.
A lot of people really like this film. So I don't want to make people too mad. I just think it's fine. Honestly, I think it's like maybe here.
Okay.
I don't think there's really too much to say about it. I've watched it maybe twice. Both times I thought this is fine. The character's fine. Flynn Rider, whatever's Flint Rider?
Flint Rider.
Frying Pan Man?
Yep.
He's fine. The horse is funny. Everything the horse does is funny. I'll give him that. I think the horse was the only thing that gave me a chuckle. Maximus, that was his name.
The horse.
But a funny horse does not a great movie make. This film is just fine.
Alright, next.
You know what, it can go here. There you go. For the funny horse.
For the funny horse.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph was pretty good. It starts off with I don't want to always be the bad guy. And they did that theme pretty well. I think the villain was pretty wonky though. That was pretty stitched.
The villain
of Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know. I mean, he could be good. I don't know. It was just that. Oh, they shut down my game. Now I'm taking over this game.
Well, no. You got the order wrong.
More to it.
The game shut down because he left it. Not they're shutting down his game, so I'm gonna leave. No, it was caused by him.
It was caused by him. He was the virus.
He wasn't a virus. He went turbo because he tried to hop. This is important that we talk about this, by the way, because there's another film. This film has a sequel, and this will be relevant. He goes turbo and tries to take over another game, which is a big no-no. Because people will naturally think both arcade machines are glitched, and they'll get taken away. And it seems to be the series of events was as soon as the next racing game came plugged in, he hijacked it immediately so no one would know the difference. Which was Sugar Rush, and he took over one of the other characters, Vanellope, to become his own character and rewrote the code, essentially hacking it. Anyway, Wreck-It Ralph as a film it's good. It's really good. It's up here somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Ralph's arc is probably quite relatable to a lot of people, wanting more from your life, feeling like you're in a rut that you can't escape out of. And wanting to prove that you can be better than what you are when no one thinks you can do it. Doubting you can do better. That is a highly relatable character theme for a character to have. And the moral is pretty mature, I would say, because he doesn't actually get what he initially wanted. He stays as a villain in his game because for the same reason as the Lion King's moral so strong. What you want out of life might not be good for the people around you. You do have some responsibilities. But what Wreck-It Ralph tells us at the end is that even though your life situation might not be ideal, it doesn't have to be as bad as it is. You can make it better.
Yeah.
And he does. He manages to make a real friend out of Vanellope, and he also kind of like kindles a friendship with Felix, which he's never tried to do before.
That too.
Because at any point of time, he could have just tried to be genuinely nice and get to know his other game characters in his game, and he doesn't. So it is partially his own making that he's so miserable. And I think he comes to grips with that. And he's more friendly by the end to everyone. Interacting with them more, and not just other villains, because he's a villain. So, yeah, pretty damn strong, this film. I might even be tempted to put it all the way up here.
Ooh,
to be honest.
Better than the real boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that seems right to me. Maybe A+. You can say that. Alright, Frozen.
Frozen, let it go. Pretty much the Lion King 2.0.
Do you wanna build a snowman? You mean just for how much money it made, right?
Yeah.
Frozen is a film.
Mm-hmm.
Or
what was it wasn't Cinema Sins. It was not Cinemassacre.
I think it's there.
Honest Trailers. It was Honest Trailers that did it on Frozen, and they pretty much said it was like, yo, this is the same thing as the Lion King. The kid just running away.
Yeah. Except it's not nearly as strong. Simba's setup, his whole grief, which is a huge part of his character, and sense of guilt, is completely set up deliberately by Scar. Because he's a manipulative psycho. And that lends a lot towards Simba's rage at the end when he tells him the truth. And it's that righteous fury that enables him to win at the end. So it feels earned, is what I'm saying. Right? It's not complicated, it's just it's set up and payoff.
Something bad happens.
The reason why Anna runs away is not nearly as strong. Because it's fucking inept parents that cause her problems.
Elsa.
Her parents are the true villain of that film, not Hans. Hans doesn't make much sense as a character.
He was a confusing, twisted villain that they twisted all around.
Yeah, it's a twist that was not set up at all. There's scenes where he's like genuinely compassionate towards people, including Anna. The way he like lovingly and like almost longingly looks at Anna as she leaves that dock, and he's in the boat. That is a genuine look of affection. What they could have done was just change it slightly. So when he looks at her, at first it's like engrossed and charmed and like, oh, she's a nice girl. I wanna hunt her down. To, oh, she's a nice girl, and then maybe slightly raise the eyebrow like he's thinking about something, and keep it very subtle. That alone would have been something. Some sort of foreshadowing. Some sort of build-up.
The only
that
thing...
actually he has something else going on in his head. That maybe, oh, this is an opportunity, maybe.
Rewatching, it was a video, it was like a tier list on all Disney anti-villains, and he was not at a high number, but they explain why he could have been better. And there was one scene where it's like where he shot the chandelier, and it's like he pushed just Anna out the way and shot the chandelier or some shit like that. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch Frozen 1. But apparently there was like apparently there's like snippets where you see he was a villain, but it wasn't good enough.
There's no setup. It's just a twist out of nowhere. Because they wanted a twist villain. And they did it very lazily.
It's just annoying that like there's character dynamics that it's annoying that between Hans and Anna, that character dynamic, they tried it, but instead they just put Anna with the other guy. I keep forgetting his name.
I want to finish the other point I was trying to make. I wasn't going to talk about Hans just now. I was going to talk about their parents. So the problem, the beginning of the conflict, it all starts with the parents realizing Elsa is maybe this whole ice magic thing is not a great situation. Then they realized, like, worse than they thought. So like, we'll take her to these trolls. They might know what to do because they're magical. And I'm pretty sure the head troll, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he explains like what she needs is like care and like nurturing, because her powers might hurt the people around her. So at first it might make sense to what the parents do next. They're like, we will lock her in her room so she can't hurt anyone else, so nothing like this ever happens again. And what they do is they turn Elsa into a freak, a freak of brain.
Sure.
Not freak. let me try that again. They turn Elsa into a socially inept person, because naturally that's what would happen if you were shut off from society and locked in your room all the time. Yeah, dumb move. You basically did the exact opposite of what the trolls recommended you do. There's a way you could do it better. You could have them making an attempt to train her, educate her. Maybe having the shackles on a little too tight, you could still do that. Maybe very severely limiting the time they get to hang out as sisters, which would be sad. You still get the same like emotional payoff there. Execution is lacking. The idea is not bad.
Yeah, there's just the execution was just off. Made a lot of money though.
Yeah, made a lot of money. This isn't a money ranking list though.
That's all I can say. Made a lot of money.
Otherwise, the film is just fine. It's it's got some catchy songs like two.
I think where you put it's right where it belongs.
Feel free to hate me in the comments for that. I don't know. I don't know how many people will agree with that or not. This isn't an in-depth review. Remember that. This could change.
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6.
The other Lion King 2.
I'm gonna get this one out the way real quick. There you go.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's whatever.
It's just a Marvel comic turned Disney.
I think it's a lot stronger when it's just a kid boy in his robot film, like the Iron Giant. That's what I thought I was getting into when I started watching it. And I was like, this one could be pretty neat.
So you like the second half?
No, I like I like the beginning. And then it turns into a we're going to be superheroes movie, and I think that's where it gets weak.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I like it when it's just Hero and the robot to begin with, and then the film just starts to get obnoxious. The side characters aren't great. They're caricatures.
They're just there. Just characters. Yeah, they weren't really there.
They have a single character trait among them all. There's quirky, there's
serious,
edgy,
lovable,
strong famine.
The lovable, explosive scientist
female woman who don't need no man. She don't need your help, and you hold out a hand to her. She falls over. She's like, nope, I can do it. Me. And that's her character, and she says "woman up" all the time.
Yeah, token black guy.
Yep, token gentle giant black man who freaks out with things. Stoner weed man who
weed guy
shouldn't be there. Who's just a crappy version of Chicken Joe from Surf's Up. Don't at me. I don't have much to say about this film. It didn't really leave an impression on me. The villain was kind of crap as well. Not to
The
mention
villain
that.
was the worst thing about the movie. The villain what made the movie. The whole thing on like killing Hero's brother just because my daughter's gone. It was awful. That was really awful. That villain was probably one of the worst villains of all time. Zootopia. I think this message.
Furry's Paradise. Why do we put that?
I love this movie. I think the message hit pretty good.
It's decent. Dare I say, a little too preachy. And the message kind of balked because animals are not like people. There are quite literally biological differences that will make the society very difficult. Because foxes have a biological urge to kill rabbits. And the film kind of like lampshades that right at the beginning. It tries to get that out of the way as soon as it can. Like, no, we're not like that anymore. It's like, right. How did that work exactly? Also, what did the predators eat?
Rations.
What do they eat?
They ate rations.
Film never shows us what they eat.
They
I just want to know.
They had to become vegetarian.
Beastars did this a little bit better.
Oh hell yeah!
Although that show is very weird still.
If I were to start talking about it, that'd be the first thing I talk about. I say it's still above Cinderella.
Probably.
Right there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a solid. It was solid.
It's solid, I guess.
Moana.
Moana.
Make way. This movie was pretty good.
Do you have anything to say about? You probably have more to say about than I do. You want to go ahead?
A lot of people. I'll say it's like. Well, a lot of people say it's like. What Ariel did, but better. What she actually did. You know. She finds out shit's going on, or she's told the shit that's happening with her island. She didn't
more agency, you think? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. She wasn't really tasked with saving the island, or well, it was kind of forced on her when the grandma died.
I don't remember much about this film. I'll be honest. I've watched it once. Where should we put it?
I definitely play in the middle between Little Mermaid and Sherlock Mouse. Detective Mouse.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really saying much about it because I don't really think much about it. I've never thought about this film. Beyond stuff. That was fine when I watched it.
We'll talk about this next one though.
Right, yeah, okay. This is where I have to snap awake.
Where we get all our energy back, yep.
This film is terrible.
5 minutes later.
I'm using a different filter, just for this one video. I'm trying to block out as much background noise as I can, because my PC is screaming at me to just kill it already. So I'm hoping my fan doesn't turn up in the audio too much. Okay, sorry for that weird cut. Me and Adrian just took a break. I had to get my thoughts in order for the next one. I started ranting about it, and then I cut it because, this film spiked something in me I didn't realize I had.
It was just that bad that it broke its own rules. Nothing really mattered.
Oh, hold on. Let me do the background again. So, Wreck-It Ralph is pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Wreck-It Ralph 2 came out, I heard not so great things about it. For the most part, I heard, it's just not as good as the first one by a fair bit. And I felt really disappointed, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll check out at some point eventually. And I just never did, because I don't want to be disappointed. And I didn't watch it until a few days ago, because of this video we're doing. Yeah, so it's our first D tier. The plot is, at some points, in shambles, and how little sense it makes. I will try to keep this brief, because we need to sleep at some point, and I feel bad keeping up with me this long.
No, it's
But
cool.
we're so close to the end now. But this, I really have to get this one off my chest. I might have to do a whole video about this film. My first negative one, because holy crap, it deserves it. It comes across as the writers for this movie didn't like the message of the first one, where you have to take into account your responsibilities and you can't just do what you want all the time. And maybe what you want isn't great, if not just for you, for the people around you. And how, you know what, despite not having everything you want, you can make your life better. In other ways. Without just going off the deep end. It's the same message that The Lion King has, the same theme that it executes very strongly. Both of those films do that. Wreck-It Ralph 2, Vanellope says, screw that, I'ma do what I want. Not only breaking its own rules, with the plot making no sense, but breaking the rules that the first one set up as well.
That too.
Nobody mentions going turbo in this film, funnily enough.
They stopped that, so whenever characters go back to the world, they get deleted, but that never happened.
Yeah, so, give you more backgrounds. I watched this with you and Tyrell, anyone who's watched the Elden Ring series, Tyrell is the rogue. We watched it together. I was having a hard time not fuming as this film went on.
I wanted to quit like the instant the scene where they said, when Ralph was like, or when he explained the whole shit all together, it's like, oh, we're just gonna go on the internet and get the wheel. That's where I wanted to say, Key, I'm gonna stop watching. But I stuck through.
That's its own can of worms. Yeah, I don't understand why the characters don't understand the concept of money.
Like they didn't know the concept. They just knew the concept of money. They just knew the concept of like, oh, we're a video game. But
that's a minor problem compared to the other ones. But I thought of something after we stopped watching, and I was like, going to bed. I was laying in bed just thinking about this film, and there's another thought that occurred to me. So, you remember in the first film when you go turbo, if you die in someone else's game, you die for good. Sonic actually says that word for word at the beginning.
Yeah.
He gives the audience a nice breakdown of how the world works. Which is important because the stakes hinge on that. So Vanellope in this film, spoiler alert, if you care. I know these aren't supposed to be in depth, but I need to say something about it, because holy crap. Vanellope decides she wants to join this other game. Adrian, do you remember what it's called?
Drag Racer?
Something Racer. Do you remember what the game is?
It was like a Mad Max, GTA, kind of as Need for Speed. It was a racing game, for sure.
How often do you think video game characters die in that world? Pretty dangerous, right?
Yeah, pretty dangerous, I guess. It would be pretty frequently.
As much as the writers might like to forget what happened in the first film, and Vanellope might want to be an unsufferable bitch in this one, if she dies in that game, she's dead. But no, they want their payoff that isn't earned, and goes against everything the first film builds up.
Like they built up so much, just crumpled it down. It made no sense.
No, I guess the writers decided they don't like the message of the first film, and so this one's going to be the opposite, and be like, no, actually, you should go for what you want, no matter what it does. Consequences be damned. Yeah, not a strong message. Not the strongest execution of a theme. Also, Ralph is an idiot in this film. He is an absolute
entirety of the movie.
It's not just Vanellope that's bad, it's Ralph as well. Ralph is arguably even worse.
What just blows me is just like how she doesn't use her glitch powers, but that's a different, I can save that for another time.
The only thing I'd argue in defense of that, Devil's Advocate, is that she has to at least concentrate a little bit to use it, and she can't just do it willy-nilly. If she's surprised, she might not do it in time. She's caught off guard. The character writing is why this film is awful.
Yeah, it's a bad film. Bad character, bad film.
I thought I wasn't going to like it because of all the comparisons people made with the Emoji Movie and how it's essentially just the same thing. I was like, oh, we gotta go to YouTube. Oh, we gotta go to eBay. Oh, we gotta go to there. That was the film I was expecting. I was like, yeah, that sounds really annoying. I hope they don't do that. They didn't actually do that much.
They didn't do that much.
It's a little, they're laying on a little bit thick at the beginning when they joined the internet.
Like when they first got there, like yeah, the product placement was like out the ass, but
it's like that's one thing. That's not why this film's bad.
Yeah. Not really a big
I
issue.
have to do this one justice and talk about it properly, not with my brain half asleep in this video. I'll probably have to cut down that rant. Okay, rant over. Yeah, you're stinky. You stinky film.
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2. I watched this today.
What'd you think?
A little bit worse than the first one.
Yeah, it's a film.
I think the first one's just fine. It's mid. It's average. It's got some neat character stuff in it. But unfortunately, gets marred by the faulty foundation of why Elsa is the way she is. In this film, a lot of wasted time, and a plot that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It's just they just try to redo the theme again and just extend the plot. Nothing really.
I think there was an attempt of trying to make this a more fleshed out world with world building. They don't take it anywhere really. That's all I can say about that really. There are other elements. I was expecting like some answers into why Elsa is the way she is, and the film does do that. It just does it very lightly. The characters make a lot of assumptions in this film. Anna just says like, oh, you are the fifth element, that's why you're icy. That was not drawn from anything, that was just an assumption. There are... The way the characters figure out their problems and what to do next is all based on assumptions as well. A few times here and there. That's kind of just comes out of nothing. They just end up being right because the plot needs them to be right about their assumptions. So it's like they don't get the information from anything tangible. That happens at least twice, I think. What else? Oh, the dam. So yeah, the conflict is this dam is actually a bad thing when it was supposed to be a good thing at the beginning. Like a simpler piece. But it turns out, oh no, their grandfather was using it as a ploy just to make their potential enemies weaker because they are magical, and that's bad. Even though they don't have magic themselves, they just live with the magic in the woods. But still, potentially dangerous, so we're gonna build this dam that makes them weaker. They don't. As far I could be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but how does the dam make them weaker?
The spirit flow. The nature's not doing one thing.
Also, I mean that could have done with a bit more explaining. I could buy it maybe if like the balance was out of whack, and that's why the magic gets weaker.
Yeah, because they blocked the dam, some plants weren't getting water, so then the fucking nature dried out, and then like it would have made sense.
But the film doesn't do that. That's like a one-off line that a character says. He says after the fact, when everyone's hanging out celebrating that the dam was built, hey, this dam is actually a good idea, actually, making us weaker. Did no one maybe object to the dam as it was being built, or proposed even? Because that would have taken a long time. That was a big dam.
The big project, yeah, no one really...
Maybe that's a nitpick, but, if you're going to revolve your conflict around this dam, and how it needs to go, then flesh out a bit more, because it's important. Also, Elsa coming through to save the day at the very end, to fix Anna's fucking reckless decision-making, just by making the water go poof. Apparently she can do that, apparently she can make water go poof. She has a lot of powers in this film. She can do a lot of stuff.
She unlocked... Yeah, that's also what blows me about Frozen 2. It's like, there's no... I guess that's also, for me, watching like a lot of anime and like, actual training arcs.
Like, to be fair, the first film had this problem as well, where, like, what is the extent of her powers?
There
Because
isn't.
at first it's just like ice blasts and ice sculptures that are more or less like the same size and power. And then she makes a giant castle.
Whole ass castle, yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that's...
And then
I
and
guess
then
she's just
she
really
gets her,
powerful, I guess.
then she can make her she can get a horse that can walk along water. Well, I think the horse just showed up, but
I think the first film does it a little bit better. It sort of implies, sort of, that maybe it's her confidence, self-confidence that makes her powers, like, more controlled and stronger. So it's got that going for it, at least. In this film, she just doesn't use her powers wisely, and she just gains new ones all the time.
she just levels up.
So, one example I'm thinking of, off the top of my head. She's shown that she can make any shape she wants, basically. Like, immediately. Like, she snaps and boof, there it is. She does this to cover Anna by stuffing her in this boat sled thing. And she pushes her into it because she doesn't want her to follow her to where she's going. She's going to go do something dangerous. Which is extremely reckless, by the way, because this, holy crap, is that a violent ride. That you just sent your sister down a hill in a slide made of ice. With a boat made of ice. If we're talking about realism here, Anna would be at the bottom of that hill. They would find her, corpse with a fucking snap neck. And a body in different positions. Because holy crap is it violent. Not to mention she careens off into a river and then runs into giant mountain trolls. So, like, holy crap, Elsa. But anyway, that's not even my... This is like a double negative criticism. That's the first part. The second part is, okay, so, but she can make shapes with her ice magic, right? She can make ships and boats.
Yeah.
And we've seen that size doesn't seem to be an issue. She can make some pretty big things. The next thing she does is she tries to get across the sea to get to where she needs to go to the river place to find the answers that she needs. This is the trailer shot where she's trying to run across the sea, right? And it's like, oh, it's really cool and badass. And like, watching the trailer alone, it's like, oh, she's trying to do some training? That's actually, you know what, point for you, movie. This might be interesting. Frozen 2 might be better than the first one. They might be trying to flesh out some details and hopefully write a better villain if you have one. But no, watching this in real time, the actual film from start to finish, she just got done making a boat for Elsa, for Anna to ride in, right? In the last scene. Why not just do that for this one? Because running into the waves is really reckless. She almost dies a few times. And that's before the giant water horse tries to kill her. Why not just make a boat? Now you might say, well, the waves are really reckless, Key. She has to get through them by running, obviously. That's a better idea. And jumping. So make a bigger boat. Try, at least. Try to make a ship. She doesn't. Frozen 2 is not that great. It's a little bit less than average. I don't know why I put in C+. It's not C+. It's more like, here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I keep it there too.
It's better than Home on the Range and Chicken Little, I think. Actually, maybe it's down here.
Nah. I'd say
don't know.
yeah. Cause at least no one tried. At least the characters did try to be annoying.
Olaf is unsufferably annoying in that.
Mm.
He wasn't that annoying in the first film. I just didn't find him funny. But he wasn't unbearable. In this film, they crank up the annoying factor a lot. They try really hard to make him comic relief.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was the comic relief in the first one. So I guess since like, okay, we're gonna be hella serious, we gotta take it comedic relief in this one. Extra.
He was more annoying in this one.
Raya,
did you watch this one?
Yes, I dislike this one wholeheartedly.
Okay, is this your Wreck-It Ralph, or is this just like
Yes, this
mild
is my
disappointment?
This is my Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, you take the wheel then. I took the wheel plenty of times already.
This movie was the whole theme on this movie was trust, which like, okay, I get it. Like, you don't trust everybody. Like, you can't just be like, okay, I just met you today. Let's go hang out. I can trust you forever now. All right, I get that. But it's the plot, literally the plot, the characters were just going all over the place. Like, you had Raya, the main character. She's getting taught by her father that all the other pieces of the nation. I forgot it was like some jade statue, and then each nation was a different piece. Like there was like the fang, the tooth, and then her place where she's from, it's the heart. So she's trying here to learn about her father's teaching about trust. Then the Fang clan comes and attacks, and they want to steal the heart. So Raya befriends one of the Fang members, um, another girl. I forgot the main character. The movie was a real blur, and I don't really want to watch it again because a lot of stuff was like annoying throughout the thing. Like as Raya meets the dragon, like she learns like, oh, she's very happy. She can trust people throughout the journey. It's mainly they it's always an encounter. They come across something happens due to the dragon trusting someone too much, or Raya trying to tell her, no, don't go over there. She goes over there anyway. They get into some shit, and then they have to run away. And then, well, spoiler alert, following with the ending to where they're having a final fight to where the antagonist is saying it goes to where the antagonist has to say to the fucking protagonist, it's your fault. The movie was going all over the place that it was just not making sense.
Yeah, I would add to it, sorry, my fan is probably blaring in the background. I hope it doesn't come up. My apologies if it does. Yeah, I would add to that, this film is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think there is a good idea in here.
It had a hell of a good
unlike
execution.
Frozen 2, where it tries to do cool world building and does nothing with it. This world feels like someone really, really wanted to put a lot of work into it and make it really cool. Because the idea is interesting and the world is interesting. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's still not great. It's going to be in D+. Actually, I want to adjust this. It's up here.
I guess I would put Frozen 2, but that's just me. That's just me angrily, biasly saying that.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem that this film has is the theme of trust is balked.
It just
And
wants all
the characters, the motivation for the character acting the way she does is also on shaky foundation. Because the film treats Raya and the fangirl like they were once the best of friends, and that betrayal was really cut deep. And it caused the end of the world, which also doesn't make sense for another reason I'll get into in a little bit. They knew each other for what, a few hours?
It was a few hours that met that day.
Right. I mean, that's a start of a good friendship, sure, if you hit it off with someone.
And then go.
It's not really like character defining betrayal.
But like they met, and then all of a sudden, like the fangirl betrays her, and it sucks because like for some reason you watch the end, you get to the end, and for some reason the fangirl tells Raya, "Oh, you betrayed me," when in the beginning of the movie she literally betrayed Raya. Shit wasn't adding up.
It doesn't have enough time to flesh out. I've seen some criticism about it, like off the rare times I've seen anyone talk about it, which is very rare because I don't think anyone saw this one. It was kind of a fart in the wind.
It was that, and also it was at the time when Disney Plus came out, and they were doing like, oh, you can buy the movie early so you can watch it now, but no one was gonna fucking do that.
I heard absolutely nothing about this film.
They did it at the same time as Black Widow too. That's also I think that's why, because they did it with Black Widow and all that shit with Scarlett Johansson came to the light more, which I think everyone forgot about this. That's me. That's just a thought.
There are things about this plot that make very little to no sense at all. That doesn't help.
There was nothing there.
So she's the guardian of the gem, the heart, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
So why aren't there more guardians? And just like general guards in general, because holy crap is it easy for her to just walk in with her friends and show her the stone, the all-important stone. Well, especially at this moment in time, because you got other nations coming to visit. And yeah, I know you want to be making peace with these people and be friendly, but pragmatically, this stone needs to be protected at all times, and they just waltz in by themselves? It's like, nah, I don't buy it. So that's one problem. The other problem is the fact that she's the only Guardian. Why is she the only Guardian? Why don't you have like an elite squad of Stone Guardians? Because it's, again, really important. I mean, this isn't supposed to be deep. It's supposed to be surface level.
But it's just, the movie just, for me,
film's a bit of a mess.
It was like, it had everything there was like, was all the idea.
There should have been a fleshed out, time given properly, like a series.
Like, it seems like one of those, it could have been like a 10 episode thing.
They try to do far too much with what time they have. And unlike Atlantis, where it's cut in a way that the important stuff is still there, and they manage to get it all in, Atlantis is not a broken film. Things still pay off and make sense. And they even get some like compelling characters as well on the side. This film is a broken mess that needed to be reworked from the ground up, but the idea is cool and solid. What else could I possibly say about it? To its merit, even though Raya is really annoying at the beginning, and some of the other characters are really annoying at first, she's not annoying the whole way through. And the kid and Maui, I forget what his actual name is, but his character model is Maui, so I'll call him Maui. I thought their bonds that they grew over time was pretty well earned, so I'll give it that. I thought that was fine. It makes sense that these characters get together and fight for one cause because of how much they've lost. So that's fine. The dragon was probably as annoying as Olaf from Frozen 2.
Dragon was the worst part. Like, every arc
they really want to be funny, and she's really not.
Like, every situation
that's not a shot against the voice actor or anything. It's probably just how the character is written, but the jokes are not landing. I'm sorry.
I'm a wicked when I hit that liquid. I got water skills that kill. I slaughter when I hit the water. I was trying to make that I'm really good. I'm a good swimmer. It's basically what I'm.
But they spend so much time trying to be funny. Less so after the second half. Kind of like Home on the Range. They give up trying to be funny halfway through, which is good. Yeah.
2 more to.
All right, we've had some dour notes. We had some bad times recently.
Now we actually have a good one. Encanto.
Now we have Encanto. I watched the film. All right, if you made it this far and you asked me if I watched Encanto, you told me I should watch it because one of the characters is an anti-villain, all that. Yes, there were hundreds of comments like that. I saw them. I read all of them. I get it. People kept recommending me to watch Encanto. I thought it was shit. Fuck you guys.
He's only saying that because he's tired.
Yeah, I'm tired and cranky, and Wreck-It Ralph made me mad. Encanto was good.
It was solid.
It was actually pretty. It's actually pretty damn good. I think it's A2.
Yep, the message was really simple and clean. Like,
and I'm not just saying that because I might lose like half my subs in one go if I made Encanto D. It's not. It's. I think it earned its spot in A2. A lot of people say it's like an oasis in a desert. I've seen comments like that a few times, and I can see what they mean. It doesn't feel like it was made by this Disney. It feels like it was made by another animation studio. Yeah, solid characters. Really cool idea for a film that they actually follow through. The plot makes sense as far as I can tell. Like, holy crap. You got a cool idea and you executed it well. I wasn't entirely sure what I was in for. I thought this would just be like a character in a quirky family that doesn't feel like she fits. And the film was that. What I didn't expect was a really compelling, not only a world that they have set up, but a compelling mystery as well on top of that. Well, I was genuinely interested in where it was going to go. It's not perfect. It's not going to go A+. There are some things that are a bit convenient. Like for one thing, where she's hanging outside the window at the perfect time to hear some important information from her grandmother, who just happens to be talking to herself at the same time. Stuff like that. That's a little, yeah. It's a little...
it's a little
It's not perfect. But yeah, it belongs in A-list.
Yeah. So it's a simple and clean.
Damn
clean theme,
to
the point.
Yeah, damn good film. I might consider it even better on the second watch. Because here's the thing, I think I need to watch a film more than once to really break it through. Encanto is one of the ones I've only seen once. It could be worse on the second viewing, or it could be better.
I think it'll be good on the second one.
I mean, like, because you notice stuff that you didn't notice before. That's why I say that, right? To give you an idea, when I made the Fox and the Hound video, I watched the film like 3 more times as I was making it. Just to check I wasn't missing anything. But yeah, Encanto...
Yeah...
It can chill between these two. I
guess.
To be honest, these 6 are like equal. These 3 are equal.
Lion King is own.
Any of these could swap to be like at the top. Yeah, Encanto, you get to chill with the cool kids up there. You earned it. Good job.
All right, this last one's all you. I haven't seen anything on this movie.
Yeah,
at all.
so Strange World. This has a really, really, really bad audience score, and I know why. And I don't blame you if you hated this. I don't think I hated it. The character drama is very flat. I think it goes here. Maybe it's worse than Chicken Little. It's one of these two. Its dialogue is really, really bad and annoying. So imagine a whole film that has a pretty neat idea. It's basically like Up, right? Where there's a strange other world that some explorer found a long time ago, and the current characters rediscover it.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing. And the world is a cool one. It's cool to look at visually, and it's interesting. The characters kind of get in the way. They're very annoying. Imagine a whole film where the cast are modern day people from like San Francisco, because that's blatantly what they are.
Damn.
And I mean that in a very caring way.
They eat avocados. They have like little fortnight dances in the kitchen while they cook. They ruin a perfectly good song that I liked.
What song?
It's the one. It's the what's it called? I forget the name. It's like it's the one with the famous YouTube video with the cats, the 3 cats going into the bar. And there's all the other animals. And like they start flying. Like,
He ruined that song?
Yeah, they use that while they're doing a little Fortnite dance in the kitchen.
Oh, ew.
So I was like, I didn't need to hear that, thanks. No, I can't listen to that song and enjoy it.
Damn, they ruined the Lone Digger?
That's the one. Yeah, a cool idea that isn't executed very well, in a nutshell. And the characters can be very insufferable. Also, like, the conflict between the main 2 characters, arguably, there's 3. But anyone who's seen this film will know I'm talking about the main 2. That starts off really, really poor. When it's a problem that occurs between 2 of them that could easily be averted. Yeah, essentially, there's like an argument between what they should do right at the beginning that like stirs off the whole problem between the 2 characters with their conflicts. And when I was watching it, I was like, just do both. There's no reason you can't just do both. Do both actions, both activities, you can. There's no need to do one over the other. No one says this. The characters don't think about it. So, they don't. They fight. Alright, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Not great. Bit stinky. Not the worst. Like, before I watched these, it was Raya, Frozen 2, Stranger World, Wreck-It Ralph, and Encanto were the ones I hadn't watched until a few days ago. I thought I was going to hate Strange World the most, just based on the reception it was getting. Needless to say, not even close. Alright, we're done.
Oh man, that was certainly an adventure.
Yeah, sorry we kind of get sluggish as we go on. I didn't realize this was going to take so long, but I like to talk about stuff. Are there any revisions that we could do?
Let's see here. Looking back on it,
Pocahontas is in C tier. Listen, I'll say it one more time. This is just a general off the cuff, just poking my brain, initial thoughts about all of them. This is very surface level, skin deep. I could be wrong. This might need to be rearranged. I might rearrange it in future. Who knows? Don't take it too seriously. I like all of these with like 3 exceptions, maybe 5.
Except for the ones that I haven't seen, being The Rescuers, Detective Mouse, or Sword and Stone. Everything here I've seen at least once in my life, and I have enjoyed.
I'll have to watch Moana again, see how it holds up. I struggle to remember that film.
There was really much going on once you found out like the plot. It, like really just don't really go anywhere. The dynamic between Moana and Maui is okay. Like once you found out that Maui stole the shit, and it's just like, bro, this is all your fault. Like the whole shit was because of him and him trying to run away. But we're more focused on Moana and her, like, you know, her building character.
Yeah. I swear, I have seen it. I know what happens. You have to take the hut of Te You will board my canoe, and then he fucking slaps her, and she jumps back from the ocean. Kind of a weird option to have the ocean act like a dog around Moana. I mean, I guess, I don't know, giving the ocean a character is a pretty difficult task. I get it.
Yeah, they made it work somehow.
They did something with it.
Yeah.
It was just really jarring watching the ocean like tilt its like blob head at her when she's a baby.
Yeah,
they're trying to make a cute moment.
That was the most. Honestly, I was kind of terrified for that because I thought like, yo, what if it just grabbed her, just pulled her away?
Okay. Sorry, this is just our tired ramblings at this point. That's it. That's a list.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, this is kind of like a first for me. I'd rather do a film review that's like fully edited and I can take my time with. This is just kind of like a fun thank you for the subs video, and holy crap, what the hell happened? My channel just blew up.
10,000.
And I wanted to do something before the new PC arrived, because I don't know how long the next video will take to make, so this will tide you over. Those are my general thoughts on all of the films. I know some of them weren't that deep. None of them were supposed to be, really. Do you have any passing final thoughts?
No, not really. I enjoyed this little tier list making. There's some films I see should be better than others, but like you said, this is just you're just making it. Just put out here.
Is there anything you vehemently disagree with?
I would put Emperor's New Groove in A.
Okay. Well,
I would. Go ahead.
You know, fuck it. There we go. Now it's finished.
Now it's fair.
Do you want anything to plug? Anything to plug for yourself? You do Twitch streams a lot.
Yep, so you can go ahead and check me out at twitch.tv/geostrega. I'm going to be going through a new schedule because I'm about to be starting a new job soon. So I used to be live in the morning, but now it's going to switch to the evenings.
Cool.
Besides that, yeah, that's it.
You do stream a lot. If you like Overwatch, watch him.
If you like fighting games, I stream that too. Anything you want to recommend me, I'll stream anything.
If you're a gross, dirty weeb, you'd probably like his content.
Enjoy my content, yeah. I want to talk about anime, manga, whatever. Come over.
Link will be in the description. Thanks for hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
And thanks to Wyatt as well. Poor man has been suffering for a few days, so that's why he's not here for like half of it. What else? I guess I can do a quick plug. Discord server. If you want to join and hang out, feel free. Occasionally I'll engage with people, depending on what it is. At the very least, I'll be floating around and I'll be checking the chats from time to time. If you want to be more in depth with me and talk about stuff, Patreon would be a better avenue for that. I will be much more engaged with people who donate to me, if there are any. But that's kind of like the main perk of Patreon at the moment. You do get some sneak peeks of what I'm working on as well. So if you really, really, really want to know what I'm doing next, this is not my this was not a main video. This was a side content video for fun. The next thing on my channel will be a big video on the next film. But if you want more details on that, Patreon is the way to go. So check that out if you want. Links for everything will be in the description. But yeah, at the very least, join my server. It's cool. A surprising amount of people there already. Are we done?
Yes, we are. We can do the Walt Disney, the end.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Wreck-It Ralph fucking sucked!